It is estimated that every day 151,600 people die. Every day those people will be put face to face with their Creator. They will have to answer for everything that they have done in this lifetime, and a case will be made for their eternal future. This evening, we will be sitting in on one of those cases. Michael Leonard Frederick Timmons died at the age of 27 due to a motorcycle accident. The memorial will be held at Indiana Memorial Site on October 29, 2015. Michael was a loving person and will be greatly missed.
All rise in the presence of God, holy and just court, for case number 777, the account of Michael Leonard Frederick Timmons. You may be seated. It is stated in Hebrews 9:27, and as it is appointed for men to die once, but after this judgment, this case will determine the eternal future of Michael Timmons. Heaven or hell?
Good evening, court, jury, audience. My name is Devan, and this evening, my job is to prove to you through evidence and stuff we have accumulated on Michael, to prove to you that he does not deserve an eternity in heaven, but that Michael deserves an eternity in hell. So tonight, I'm going to give you evidence and I'm going to give you proof tonight that has been thoroughly researched of Michael's 27 years that he spent on this earth. So Michael, I'm going to start with you. You had 27 years on this earth to prove if you deserved to go to and spend eternity, which is forever, in heaven or in hell. Now, Michael, on this earth, you had 27 years to prove that. How do you think you did? Do you think you were a good person?
Yeah.
You seem pretty confident about that. Jury? He claims he was a good person. Now, Michael, I need to ask you a couple questions about that. Do you believe the Bible?
Yeah. Most of it. All of it.
Okay. Now let me see if you were a good person compared to the Bible. You've heard of the Ten Commandments, right?
Yeah.
And you could have quoted them, right? I mean, you grew up in church. You grew up in a church school. You know the Ten Commandments pretty well, right?
For the most part, yeah.
This evening, court, we are going to find out how well Michael did with those commandments. Now, Michael, I'm going to start with this. In the entire 27 years that you spent on this earth, did you ever tell a lie?
Maybe one or two. I mean, couldn't have been that much.
Yeah. So you know that's a commandment, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. Jury? Okay. So, Michael, you might have told a lie or two. Now, give me, in the span of 27 years, give me a number of how many times you lied.
Couldn't have been more than 10.
Well, you know, Michael, I can actually prove that to be false. Actually, I think since you've been up here, you've already told about 3. So I want a number, an estimated number. Actually, Michael, you know what? Can you even count how many lies you told in 27 years? Come on, let's be
Probably
honest.
not. No. Well, I did.
So, jury, listen to this. Michael, what do you call somebody who tells countless lies?
Liar, I guess. I
Right.
mean, but that's not me. I mean,
Well,
I'm a good
listen,
person.
Michael. Question number 2. Did you ever steal anything? Now, before you answer this, you already told me you're a liar, so... Did you ever take anything that wasn't yours? Did you ever see something that you wanted, that you coveted, that you wanted, and that you took that was not yours?
Probably like small, nothing big.
Well, I don't think it really matters because God didn't say you can steal a piece of candy, but you can't steal a Ferrari. I'm pretty sure He just said don't steal. So, did you ever steal anything?
Probably something small.
Okay, what do you call somebody who steals things?
Thief.
A thief. Okay. Let me ask you another question, Michael. Did you ever use God's name in vain? Using God's name as a cuss word. And jury, just in case you didn't know, using God's name as a cuss word is called blasphemy. Michael, did you ever in 27 years use God's name as a cuss word?
I mean,
just one time.
it might have slipped out.
So you're saying you're blaspheming? Okay.
Yes.
Next question. Not looking good, jury. Not looking good. Jesus came to this earth and Jesus said, if you look at a woman with lust, then you have committed adultery. Now, Michael, in the 27 years you spent on this earth, did you, one time, look at a woman with lust?
I mean,
I think
probably, yeah, at least once. I mean, it's normal.
you're a
right?
man, you're a human. Okay, so what you're telling me is that you're a good person, but you are also a self-proclaimed liar, thief, blasphemer, and an adulterer at heart. Now, Court, I don't know about you, but that's not a good person in my book. So, Michael, we actually have a video evidence of that one time that your grandparents left town and you actually threw a party that involved underage drinking. Now, Michael, what if I told you that I have video evidence to support this to the court? Can you deny that party?
Probably not. Video doesn't lie.
So, honor thy father and mother, there's another commandment. So right now, Michael, you have broken 5 of the 10 commandments. Oh, and also that next morning, because that was a Saturday night, that next morning was Sunday, which was the Sabbath day, and keep it holy. You spent the Sabbath day hungover, so there's 6. So far we are at 6 10 commandments that you have broken, and we just got started, jury. So, right now, I'm going to give Michael a little bit of a break. I'd like to call up a witness to the stand, so if we can get Michael out of here. I would like to call up a couple witnesses. And jury, just for your information, these are credited witnesses. They have been screened and they have been sworn in. So my first witness that I'd like to call to the stand is Andrea Cole. All right, Andrea, as you know tonight, we are determining Mr. Timmons' eternal future, where he's going to spend from right now to when he's passed away to eternity, where he's going to be spending the rest of his life. That's what we are trying to determine right now. And to be honest with you, right now it's not looking too good for Michael. Now, you grew up with Michael, right? You get closer to the mic. Thank you. Now, Miss Andrea, you guys went to school together, you and Michael. So you guys, in the way this school was set up, you guys were in the same classroom from the time you were practically in kindergarten all the way to senior year, correct? So you spent a lot of time with Michael.
Yes.
Can you recall a time while you guys were at school that Michael had a conversation with you And he talked about that one teacher. And he said, I hate that teacher. Do you remember that conversation?
Well, yeah, but
It's a yes or no question.
we all.
Well, what I am asking is if Michael did say he hated that teacher. Yes or no? Thank you. Now, jury, I want to fill you in on something. Jesus came to this earth and he was talking about murder. And he said, if you hate somebody, if you have hate in your heart towards somebody, you have committed murder. So Michael is proven a murderer at heart for allowing hate to enter his heart. Now this is where it's going to get a little interesting, jury. Andrea, what did Michael love to do? What was his passion? Video games. He really liked video games, didn't he? Now, during high school, did Michael talk more about video games or more about his relationship with God? Which one did he mention more in conversation?
Well, we knew he loved God and that he loved talking about video games. Right?
So what you're telling me is that he talked more about video games than he did his relationship with God.
Some days.
I think I have proof that Michael put his video games before his God. And that's a big no-no. Actually, that's a really big no-no. And I think I even have proof, jury, that his video game system was an idol in his life. Which is a direct commandment from God, commandment number 1 and 2, that he broke with his video games. And I believe we have proof of that. Thank you, Andrea. My next witness I'd like to call to the stand is Sister Deb. Now, Sister Deb, you were Michael's teacher from 1999 until the year he graduated, correct? Yes. So you've seen Michael every school day.
Yes, Michael was a really good student.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes.
I understand. Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
He was a good student.
Well, let's see how good of a student he was.
He could quote Bible verses and.
Let's just see how good of a
He was a really
student
good student.
Michael was. Sister Deb, can you do me a favor and explain what a scoring violation is?
Yes.
Okay.
We had, in our schools, we had these things called paces. And the student would take their pace up to the scoring station after they did the work in it, and they would score their own work, kind of like the honor system.
So it's an honor system.
Yes.
There was nobody watching over their back.
No.
He was allowed to score his own work.
Yes.
Okay, so where does a scoring violation come into play here?
It comes into play when they do not mark a wrong answer, or if it's not.
So if it's wrong in the pace, and you're scoring it, and you decide that you do not want to mark it wrong, it is then a scoring violation. Now, Sister Deb, would you say that a scoring violation is cheating?
Yes.
Would you say that a scoring violation is lying?
Yes.
Would you say that a scoring violation is deception?
Yes.
I think a scoring violation is a pretty ugly thing, don't you?
Yes.
I do too. Jury, do you agree? Now, Sister Deb, while Michael was attending the school that you taught at, did Michael have any more than 10 scoring violations in his career? I know you have this information, Sister Deb, and you're allowed to share it.
You know, I would really have to check the records.
Well,
you know.
Sister Deb, the court, you have been sworn in, and you must answer this to the best of your knowledge. So, yes or no on 10 scoring violations?
Yes. But out of all,
no. Now,
all the
let's
right
continue.
answers
Now,
you
let's
got,
continue.
You know,
Let's
you might have
continue.
got confused.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
Sometimes they got
if
confused.
he just had 10 scoring violations, yeah, I can see him getting a little confused. Now, Sister Deb, 10 scoring violations through your high school career, you know, that's kind of what I had, so that makes for a real Hey, order. Thank you. Sister Deb, would you say that Michael Timmons had over 100 scoring violations in his career at Christian Heritage?
Well, during his high school, no, not those 4 years, no.
Well,
No.
are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I-
Not during the 4 years that he was in high school, no.
Sister Deb, I have proof that you're wrong.
Not during the 4 years of his high school.
Sister Deb, we actually have one pace that has 100 scoring violations. So, again,
During just those 4 years?
Sister Deb, I'm talking one pace that is 27 pages long. He had over 100 scoring violations.
Oh, I must have forgot that.
Now let's see how well you remember this answer. In Michael's complete career at Christian Heritage, did he have over 1,000 scoring violations?
Now between freshman year
No, I'm
and
talking his entire
senior year, no, he did not.
His entire career at Christian Heritage, did he have over 1,000 scoring
Now,
violations?
preschool to 5th grade, I don't think so.
I'm talking preschool to senior year of high school. Yes or no on 1,000 scoring violations?
Probably.
Yes. Thank you, Sister Deb. You may be seated. Jury. 1,000. Lying, cheating, deception, violations. Well, Michael, I'm going to be honest with you, bud. My work here is almost done. But before I leave, jury, I want to ask Michael a couple more questions. Michael, do you realize how many times you messed up on God? Michael, do you even realize how many times that He gave you the grace and you continued to do what you wanted to do and break His commandments? Do you know how many times you messed up on God, Michael?
Well, you said he forgives me, right?
Yes.
I mean, so-
But Michael, you realize that you broke every one of those 10 commandments. And not just that, Michael, you say you were a good person, but according to God's standards, you were not a good person. And you continually, over and over and over again, let God down.
But see, he forgave me, and I was doing my best.
No,
right?
Michael, we have proof that you do not belong in heaven. We have proof, Michael, and evidence that you belong in an eternity in hell.
See, I remember I prayed and I did my best. I went to church every Sunday.
Your best was not good enough,
See,
Michael.
I tithed too.
That does not matter. That is not hold up to this court, Michael.
I read his Bible at least once a week. I mean,
It's
I
not
was
doing
in
you
church.
any good. It's not going to do you any good.
I'm sorry.
Sorry is not going to cut it tonight, Michael. Jury, I think my job here is done. I've given enough proof and enough evidence that he does not belong in heaven, that he belongs in hell.
After reviewing the case and the evidence thoroughly, the jury has made a unanimous decision. On charges of gossip and judging, we, the jury, find Michael guilty on all charges. On charges of lying, cheating, stealing, we, the jury, find Michael guilty on all charges. On the charges of breaking God's 10 commandments, we, the jury, find Michael guilty on all 10 commandments. I think it is obvious this evening that Michael deserves eternity in. What's this? Settle down. Order. I have a letter from heaven, and it says, I, God of heaven, the great I am, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the righteous judge, here do pardon Michael, Leonard, Frederick, Timmons on all charges. "2,000 years ago, Michael's defense attorney, Jesus Christ, endured the ultimate price for Michael's sins by giving his own life so Michael could go free. In July of 2002, Michael admitted his guilt to me and accepted his freedom from all the sins he committed. I no longer see him as a sinner, but I see him as one of my children. He is therefore free to enter into my eternal city, where he shall spend eternity with me."